Hi everyone. It is around 9 p.m. on Sunday, and I'm probably just gonna lay down and read more of Chain of Gold. I'm really enjoying it so far. I just think it's so like nostalgic and like so silly, but also very like, character based. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of like plots going on. I feel like I'm really like sinking my teeth into it, as dramatic as that sounds. So today slept late. My grandpa came over and we tried to work on the car, but it didn't start again. So he's coming back on Tuesday to help fix it. So it looks like I'll be borrowing my sister's car tomorrow for all my activities that I'm doing. And then we went to the movies and saw Craven the Hunter.
Beast,
We're at the
not from this
movies.
earth.
I gave it a 1.5 stars. It was a rough movie. It actually wasn't that bad. It was just kind of just like all over the place and very sloppy. And like a lot going on and just kind of boring and bad. Just like not anything I would recommend seeing. And then I came home, read some more, had dinner, and then I came upstairs and watched No Exit, which I think I actually liked the book more compared to the movie. I think getting a lot of the inner monologues from the characters really helped build that tension. And they also added some stuff, not added, but like Darby was not an art student in college. She was a recovering addict in a rehab center, and she kind of busts out of there, and that's how she gets to the rest center. And then the two guys are still brothers, but they changed it to where Ed and Sandy were married and not cousins, which I think is fine. Like, that honestly was not a huge change. The change of how she's connected to everything was it was interesting. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good movie still. Like, and Havana Rose Lou was so good. Oh my god. There's this scene where they like nail her, like if her arm's out like this, they like nail her to the wall through her wrist. I was like, oh my lord. So then I've also been really getting into watching these videos on my Instagram of like these girls doing their shower and like overconsumption, like get ready for me. They're just so like relaxing. I don't know what it is, but they're just so nice to watch. But yeah, we're gonna read some Chain of Gold. Good morning, everyone. This is the fit for my day full of appointments. I actually ordered a black turtleneck to wear with this sweater because the skirt I have on would all go together. But then the order got canceled. Like, I guess Old Navy just said no. Oh no, you know what the problem is? They always have problems shipping to my school. And they were like, well, we delivered it and no one was there to pick it up. Even though there's a mailroom on campus. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, I don't have black turtleneck. I just have the white one. And honestly, it doesn't look too bad because this is such a different shade compared to the sweater vest. And then I have my little skirt on, which you can't see, and some tights. So I really am giving secretary realness today. But just kind of, it's very cute. Did the hair like this because I didn't want it in my face, but I realized when I go to get my hair cut, I'm gonna have to take it out. But I'm very excited for that. I need a proper hair wash, haircut. It's been a while, but I'm still gonna keep growing it. So I have my little to-do list for the day. I need to call the borough in like 5 minutes because my car still won't start and we need to move it for street cleaning, but we can't really do that if the car won't start. My dentist appointments, I'm going to Target to get my white elephant gift, and I'm hoping they have a place where I can recycle my old water damaged laptop. Then I'm going to treat myself to a little Panera lunch. I'm bringing my bag with my book and my little journal because I think I'm going to be doing some writing. I don't know yet, but I feel like something's there. I have my haircut at 2:30. Then I'm going to stop at my mom's doctor and pick up some new patient paperwork because my pediatrician kicked me out because I'm too old. And then I have the gynecologist at 4:30. So that is my day. Let's go. I'm laughing. It's giving. Have you guys seen the clip from the Kardashians where what's her face gets like Botox or no, I'm sorry. Her lip gets so big because she got bit by a bug, and they're like, is that even possible? And she looks so like, I just got a filling done because a filling had fallen off, and I didn't realize how crazy it would be. Like, they had to do, like, he's putting something in, I'm like, what's that? And he takes it out, I'm like, oh, that was a needle. Okay, cool. So now this whole side of my face is numb. They gave me a consent form. I signed to it. I just didn't read it. That sub sounds good, guys. Do whatever you want up there. But it actually took... I'm sorry, I did not realize Billy Joel was playing that whole time. I'm in my sister's car, so not used to necessarily all the kinks. But it actually took less than I thought, because the last time I was here for the dentist, I was with my sister, and that was like, I took them to their appointment, and we were here for an hour and a half. And today I had my cleaning at 10, and then they were supposed to do my filling at 11, and now it's 11:09. So they got me in and out real quick. But this whole side of my face is so like numb. Like, I can't even... Oh my god, it shouldn't be that funny, but it is. So, guess I go on with my day. Sounds good. So I'm gonna head over to Target and get my box game gift, and hopefully they'll have a place where I can drop off this laptop, this stupid laptop. And I'll probably go to Panera. I am allowed to eat. We'll see timing wise. Maybe I'll just walk around Target for a little bit, because that ended up taking not as long as I thought it was going to be, and my haircut isn't until 2:30, so we'll see. I'm back in my car. I'm early to the hairdresser, so I figured I'd give you guys an update, because we've kind of been all over the place. So after the dentist, I think, yeah, it's not as numb right now. After the dentist, I went over to Target and got my box game gift, but they did not have anywhere to recycle laptops. So then I went to Panera for lunch, and I got a bowl of broccoli cheddar soup with some bread, and it was delicious. But I wanted hot chocolate, and they didn't have it, so I got a hot chai latte, which I usually like, but theirs is like, it's either too sweet or like too like, not too spicy. It's just that like chai spice, and I don't know, it's just not very good. But I sat there for a bit afterwards and read another chapter of my book, and I did some writing. Nothing that I can publish, just some writing. And then I said, you know, I have about an hour to kill before the hairdresser. Let's go look for electronics recycling place. And there was one about 10-12 minutes away. I go in, no one's there. And I went around the back, no one was there either, even though they said that's where they can drop stuff off. So the quest continues to find a spot. So now I think I'm gonna go in. I'm a little early, but I'm gonna go in for my haircut. And then actually my mom's doctor is right across the street, which I didn't realize, so I'm gonna go over there and grab some paperwork. And then my gynecologist appointment's at 4:30. Tomorrow, just confirmed, I'm gonna queen out with one of my professors on Zoom. I wanted to queen out with him last week, but he was sick, so, and he won't be here next semester. I need to tell him everything that happened. I haven't had a class with him this semester, so I need to update them on the Elm too, because I didn't tell you guys, but my opinion editor is studying abroad in the spring, so I have to hire someone new, which will be fine. I've already gotten a few people interested in the position. Not that I have actually applied, but like they told me they're interested, so that is good, because I'm stressed. But because I was like, oh, I'll take a few weeks off before Christmas, and then as soon as the new year starts, it's thesis time. That is not going to be the case. Although I'm going to accept applications and then do interviews back at the beginning of January, because I forgot we start Elm stuff like right away. Like doing pitches and articles and stuff, so that's my life. But off to the haircut. Okay, Reese, what are you reading today?
I'm reading The Land Beyond the Sea. I've been reading it for months. It's about 700 pages, and I am on page 221, chapter 18.
But what's it about?
It's about, here, I'll read what it says here. The triumphant story of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, Saladin, and their battle for the Holy Land. It's 12th century Jerusalem and all the stuff that happens. And a 16-year-old is about to dunk on a 40-year-old man.
Oh, wow.
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm reading Chain of Gold, as I have been reading. It is the first book in the Iron Tribe. What's the series called? The Last Hours by Cassandra Clare. So it is the 1900s historical romance fantasy.
When in the 1900s?
Very early, like
Edwardian time.
Yeah. Like here, did I show you the illustration? That's all the characters. It's 580, I think, and I'm on page 363.
We both got our fun bookmarks.
Yeah.
I have, where is mine?
Bird. And I've got my Taylor Swift bookmark.
Yeah, that I showed you how to use properly.
So I just reached part 2. And we're gonna start. I'm gonna have to remember what is happening because I didn't read yesterday. Because yesterday was the trial of the car. Ruby is still not working. Sadness. But we'll see. Hi everyone. It's about 10:30 on Wednesday, and I think I'm gonna try to read as much of, it's right in front of me, Chain of Gold tonight as I possibly can. Look how close I am. That's all I have left. I've read already this much because I read with my sister earlier for a few hours and read about 100 pages. So I feel like I can do it. I feel like I have the strength, the power to get through it. Let me see if I can remember. Oh, I'm in the middle of a chapter. Great, okay. So if I remember correctly, Cordelia and Matthew are out with James. And oh, no, I lied. They went to the Silent City, which is where all the injured are, because there's like a quarantine and they are putting all the injured there. And Christopher got injured, the autistic one, or I read him as autistic. And so I think they were going there to see him, but then they were all the dead. No, I lie. They got a letter from Jem, but it was a lie. Like the dead were all tricking him to come get him. To come there. And he's giving very main character syndrome because he's like, it's always been about me. It's all about me. This is why they called me here. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's that serious. But him and Cordelia did kiss. But I think, no, they were just pretending. They could do more though. And then there was a big battle on the bridge. And Cordelia fell in the water, but Lucy's trying to figure out how she can keep communicating with the ghosts, because she apparently, like, by saying she wanted someone to rescue Cordelia, the ghosts came and saved her. So Lucy has some sort of connection with the ghosts, including Jessie, who she's been communicating with this whole time. Yeah, I think that's where we're at right now. And then Lucy, Matthew, no, I lie. Lucy and Thomas, I think we're gonna go get the stuff for the antidote. I think that's what's happening. There's a lot of plot going on. I have to keep reading, but that is that. And then I went on the bike earlier and did some biking, and started reading Maid by Stephanie Land because I finished the show yesterday. But yeah, I didn't really do much yesterday other than when I got home, Reese made me dinner. They made me a quesadilla. And I finished watching Maid, and then I did some crafting up here. I've really been getting into D'Angelo Wallace's video essays. I watched his one on Caroline Conway. No, it's Caroline Calloway, because I keep wanting to say it's Caroline Conway because I think that's funny, because she's a scammer. But that's not her name, it's Caroline Calloway. But his most recent video was on the Spy Kids franchise, and I'm like, that's perfect, really right in my alley. And I actually watched this really interesting video. If I can remember her name, I'll like put it up on the screen, but she does a lot of like really good like deep dive videos, and she did one all on Justin Bieber, and I've like never been a Justin Bieber fan, but it was so interesting seeing his history and like seeing how awful the media treated him, like how sexualized he was. That was absolutely crazy. Let me see what page I'm on actually of Chain of Gold. 463, and how many is it? Oh, okay, so technically it's 582, but there's this like bonus chapter. I think it's because this is for some reason like a fan edition of the book, so I will have to read that as well. Yeah, so I feel like I can finish it. So let me stop talking and actually do it. I wanted to give everyone a little reading update because I hadn't like actually sat down and talked yet after I finished Chain of Gold. Dun dun dun, yippee! I didn't realize, I think I started this on Saturday and finished it Wednesday night. I really said, boom, 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 let's go. Because it was so good. I really liked it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. How my rating system works, I guess I should explain. So I don't give books 1 star. I'm considering changing that. Maybe that would be a 2025 goal. That's just kind of always how I've done it. I think my reasoning when I was younger was like, well, it got published, so it at least deserves a star for that. But have you read some books? Some books deserve a 1 star. But 2 stars are usually books that I'm like, yeah, that's lowest. I didn't like it. It was a struggle to get through. Won't read again. Wouldn't recommend. 3 stars are kind of like, it was boring. It was okay. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever read. 4 stars, yeah, we're getting there. This is good. Usually if it's a 4 and above, I keep the book. Like, I keep the physical copy. If it's a 3 below, I've started getting rid of them or donating them. 4 stars, yes, this was great. Some 4 star books I'm looking back on this year especially, and I'm like, that could have been a 5 star, because I think I'm a little too harsh with my 5 star books. I think I only have 8 this year, because I'm thinking of how I want to do my like end of the year post on my Instagram, or like, you know, just like, here are my favorite books this year, and there's only 8 of them, and 2 I think I've read before. So I also need to decide what my favorite book was of this year. What was my favorite book last year? It might have been The Force of Such Beauty, which was such a good book. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'll reread it, but it was so good. Yeah, 5 star, obviously. Favorite book, loved it, amazing. But yeah, this gets a 4 star, mainly because I felt like, let me think. Okay, one, obviously it's Cassandra Clare, it's YA. I don't read a lot of YA these days, so I do feel like there were still some moments that I'm like, yeah, that's classic Cassandra Clare, a little cringe. That's what stopped me from getting through Lady Midnight. Like, I feel like Emma was such a cringe character, like, so, like, girl boss, because it was, like, set in 2015. Fortunately, since this is in the 1900s, it still has a bit more of that, like, class decorum, like, we're not using modern slang, really. I still felt like there were some moments, though, so you can skip to this time here if you don't want to get spoiled for Chain of Gold. This book has been out for a few years, though, and I feel like we're getting into talk. Okay, so how this book kind of goes towards the end is they defeat the demon, or they think they do. There's kind of this moment at the end where he's gonna come back. And I don't know about you guys, but I have such trouble imagining what the demons in these books look like. I just kind of imagine like black, like goop, because they always say like when they stab them, there's like this ichor that comes out. I'm like, okay, y'all are just black goop. And so after they defeat him, or the demon, then they go and burn Tatiana Blackthorn's house down because she was keeping all this necromancy stuff, and she gets in trouble for that. And then there's a trial, putting her on trial, and they're trying to figure out who burned the house down. And of course it was James and Cordelia and Matthew, James mainly. But to save James's skin, Cordelia, our girl boss on the cover here, says, no, he was with me all night. And we know what that means in 1900 England. You're marrying. Sorry. So they decide, in order to save Cordelia's reputation, to enter into, like, it's going to be a marriage, but it's only going to last a year. And after that, nope, we're done. You can marry whoever you want. I'll marry whoever I want. That's how it's going to be. Because he's not... Grace was kind of tricking him there for a while. I think that's why he went and burned the house down. I'm trying to remember, because, again, I was reading this until 1 a.m. And I was feeling a little... That was a bad idea. I was feeling a little fuzzy. So they decide to marry, and it is so heartbreaking. My girl Cordelia deserves so much better. I am never a Herondale girl. I was not into Will in the Infernal Devices. I was into Jem. And I'm honestly not a huge fan of James. I think he's just missing something, which I'm sure he'll get. That's how Will was too in Infernal Devices. But Cordelia deserves so much better. She's so down bad for him, and it's ridiculous. So that happened. Oh, and I forgot that James was gonna die after he defeated the demon, but Jesse, the ghost, sacrificed his, like, last breath. So he's not coming back, probably. But the mom wants to bring him back. Tatiana. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. There's something going on between Anna and Ariadne. Charles and Grace are getting married, which, like, flops. Gross. Matthew, Lucy... Some of those characters are kind of left up in the air. I'm not really sure what's going to happen to them. But that's where we're at right now. And then it kind of ended with this little, like, epilogue scene of Tatiana being like, I'll get revenge on them. So the demon will be back. We have not heard the last of her. And then there was, like, this bonus chapter of Will, I always want to keep calling Will James and James Will. I keep getting confused. There's a scene at the end that's like a special edition of Will and Tessa's wedding. Great, good, read it at 1 a.m. I don't really care. So we're done with this one. I'm not picking up Chain of Iron right away. It's right here on my little shelf. But this is like all the books that I do want to try to get to over break. It's definitely a big undertaking, but also I don't really have any room on my regular shelf. So that's where they'll go for right now. So Chain of Gold, done. I'm currently reading Made by Stephanie Land, based on the show. Okay, this is inspiration for the Netflix series, and I think that is a good distinction because reading this book, it is very different from the show. Like, I watched the show first and I was like, great, I'll pick up the book and it'll basically be the same thing. It's not. Like, don't go into the book thinking that, and also don't go into the show thinking it's gonna be just like the book. And I think that's fine. Like, I'm not having a problem with that because I think a lot of what the show was really dramatizing everything and making it very like a good TV story. Some people's stories really work in book form, and I think the way she's writing it really works in book form. And the story that's shown in the show, which there are some similarities, the story that is shown in the show really works as a TV show. There's constant struggles, constant recurring characters. The book here, she wins custody right away. We don't really see a lot of her abusive ex-husband or abusive ex-boyfriend. The mom is not as big of a character as she is in the show. Same with the dad. There's a lot more like just character interest, I think, in the show, whereas this is a lot more about her trying to build a life for her and her daughter, which I think is still a good story. It just works better in book form. So I'm reading this. I'm liking it so far. I do think it's hard to compare it when I just finished the show and really enjoyed the show. But that's what I'm reading on my Kindle. I was looking at my Goodreads goal, and originally I wanted to read 52 books. I am now at 86. And I'm wondering if I can get to 90 by the end of the year. And then I was like, well, I'm currently reading Made, Know My Name, and I am technically in the middle of My Lover's Lover by Maggie O'Farrell. And that is 3 books right there. And if I finish them, that'd be 87, 89. So I could. But do we see how far I'm in? Like, currently reading is a stretch with these. Because I started Know My Name because I was going to do the thing where it's like, oh, I read my lowest and highest rated book on Goodreads. And this is my highest rated book. And I started it and it was really heavy, so I had to like put it down after reading for a little bit. And I'm trying to pick it back up. I think I just really need to like sit down and read it. So maybe once I'm done like actually finishing Made, maybe this will be my next one. But then I'm also kind of thinking I could just knock this out because I started this a while ago. Like, when I finish it, my story graph's going to be like all fucked up because it shows me how long it takes me to read certain books. And they'll be like, you take 2 months to read a book. That is 200 pages. How long is this? 304. So that's the thing. I could read this in maybe an afternoon. But I started it and it's so like bleh. It's just basically like her adjusting to living with her new boyfriend and being jealous of that boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. But it's got a pretty cover. And look at my cute little bookmark that I got at the farmer's market. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And then I also have my notebook because I did some reading. I did some writing last night, and I'm actually glad I asked for a new notebook because this is all I have left in this one. But that's crazy. I love writing by hand. I think that's probably one of my favorite things I started doing this year. Because I went to this writing event back in February in Kansas City, Missouri. Not Kansas City, Kansas. And I went to this one event with my friend, and they were basically, it was these group of women talking about how much pressure they felt to be constantly writing for publication, constantly writing to have their work out in the world. And how that wasn't really getting them anywhere. Yes, they were maybe writing work to be published, but was it their best work? Was it work they were actually proud of? And how they would just take a step back and just write to write. And I think that is what I've started doing here, just like writing freehand. Because now I've tried going back and actually like writing something on my laptop, and I just can't get into it because I'm so like, oh, this is bad, I'll just delete it. When I'm just like, when I sit down and write it like by hand, I'm just like, yeah, this looks good. Like, I'm not thinking about editing it. I'm just writing and getting the words down. And the thing I'm writing right now is definitely not something I can publish because it's very personal. Not personal in the sense of like about me. It's just about something that happened this semester, and I like use all these names and use all these events, and I can't be putting that anywhere. So, but that's that. And I'm honestly, writing that down is like really helping me look back on that and let me be like, was it ever that serious? But maybe it was. So that's kind of where we're at. Also, very sad news. I wanted to play Sims Medieval yesterday because it was $20, and I went to buy it, and it's only available on Windows, and I have a MacBook. That was so sad. But to fill the hole, I re-downloaded Wizard 101 and started playing that. Okay. I just checked the time. I do have to go make some food. I'll have to go see if my mom is... She was wrapping Christmas presents earlier, so I had to be scurrying around. But yeah, I think the plan for today... Honestly, I slept in really late today, but I'm not going to let that deter me. I saw a TikTok, or maybe it was a reel. I saw a video yesterday that was basically like, just because you sleep in really late, like, the day can still start. You can still have a good day. And I really like that. Because I'm definitely trying to, like, at least get into some sort of schedule when I'm home. I need that stability, but I'm also sleepy. And I'm also like, oh, well, you don't get to sleep in late when you're at school. But I'm like, girl, you feel gross when you sleep in that late and, like, sweaty. So I think, here's what I think I'll do today. I'm gonna go down, make some food, do some coloring, and watch some YouTube. Brittany Broski got Aaron Taylor Johnson on the Royal Court. I was gagged, so I will be watching that. I think I'm gonna bring down my Kindle, and you know what? I think I'm gonna try this one again, because I think this is one I can maybe finish in like a day or two. And bring my notebook down. I put this in the wrong order.